Hello, hello, everyone. Everyone should be muted. But Brittany, I will unmute you, and you can be the host of tonight's call. I'm super excited to hang out with everyone today.
I am so excited, Denise. Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Do you want us to go ahead and get started, or do you want to wait a second? You want to dive on in?
We can dive on in, but I know my team is jumping on as well, and so I'd love for you to introduce what this call is about, and because I know your team earned a spot, so big congratulations. I'm really excited to connect with you guys, and so I'd love for you to explain to everybody what they had to do to get on this call, because we really want to honor those who showed up, because their effort.
Yeah, absolutely. So our team, we kind of decided that Denise is a VIP, obviously, as a Black Diamond in this company. And so to earn your way onto the Zoom, we just wanted to make sure that you were showing up for your business this week. So we only gave them a couple days this week, but we said you had to get at least one. You had to get your one, because I know at conference several times and at different events, they're like, you got to start with one. What is your one? So whether you are brand new or you've been in for 5 years, you had to get your one. And so they had to get one enrollment, whether it was one new teammate or one new distributor this week. And if they did, they were able to get onto the call from today. So yes.
Congratulations, everyone.
Yeah. And our team showed up. I swear, we had more enrollments over the past week than we have probably in the last 3 weeks. So it's really excited to see everyone kind of showing up for a little challenge and to be on a special call with you. So it's been awesome.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and dive right in.
Yeah. So we just kind of wanted to learn and soak up everything we can from you, Denise. And I just have to say thank you again. I think I've told you probably 10 times, but I'm just so grateful for you. So thank you for taking time out of your evening and being here to pour into us as well. So we're just so grateful.
Of course.
Yes. Okay. So for my team, and we do have a ton of newbies on our call too. So for those people who haven't exactly heard your story before, can you just tell us a brief story of, where you were before It Works? And I know there's a million things It Works has probably done for you, but do you want to tell us maybe what your favorite thing is that It Works has done for you?
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for inviting me. I feel honored to get this special, one-on-one time with you guys. So I've been a part of It Works for almost 12 years. 12 years. My 12th year anniversary is next month. And I started when I was 26 years old, working as a community mental health clinician. So I have my master's in clinical psychology and was working at a community mental health. And I got into that job because I really like working with people. I like to help pour belief into people and feel like I can see people 3 steps ahead of where they see themselves. And I thought psychology was my best way to give back into the world. But it did not take long for me to be tired, bored, and burnt out and ready for something new. I was working for the government, and I was working honestly with people that didn't really want help in a situation that really couldn't help them. And I went through what they call a quarter life crisis, where I got my first job and I thought I was off to save the world. And then it was not so much that. So I was restless for about 5 years, trying to figure out what's next for me and what I'm going to do now and that kind of thing. And then I met my sponsor, Cammie, at our small group at church. My husband's always wanted to be an entrepreneur. He was an aerospace engineer, which sounds cool, but he was working in cubicle land with the grouchy old men. And he was ready for something new as well. So we jumped in. Actually, we started as customers. I was a customer first. I've always been interested in health and wellness and have worked out my whole life. And then Brandon saw me get excited about the products, and he saw the dollar signs, and we upgraded to become distributors 2 weeks later. Within 3 years, we quit our full-time job. So we both quit our full-time jobs within 6 months of each other. We were making more with this side hustle than we were in our JOBs. We milked it as long as we could, getting 3 checks. But when you're at work going, I'm wasting so much time, it's time to move on. And so we finally quit our jobs, went to Australia for 6 weeks, repped as many Aussies as we could, and really dove into full-time business entrepreneurship. And we've been full-time with It Works longer than we were in the corporate world. So almost 10 years full-time. Is that right? Yeah. Goodness, it's been crazy. So my favorite thing, obviously, what I found with this business was that I could, I got into psychology because I felt like I wanted to pour belief into people and help, help them grow and take them from where they are to where they want to be. And I learned that I could do that with this business. I learned that I could live out my life's purpose. I could pour into people. I could help them. I could challenge them. I could see them 3 steps ahead, because most new distributors were kind of like my clients when I saw them the first time. They would be like, not doing very good. I want to change. I want life to be a little bit different. I'm struggling in this area, but I'm scared this won't work. Think about a therapist. Like, that was my first client. Like, a lot of times in the first few sessions, they're like, I want life to change, but is this really going to help? And a new distributor is very similar. They come in with some fears. They come in with, unsure of themselves and needing to learn skills. At least that's how I was. And so I found that I could really kind of put my roots in and grow here and give back and pour into people. And the more that I helped people grow, the better my check became.
I love it. I'm taking notes too, Denise, so this is all good. I actually didn't know that you were doing this full time for 3 years before you quit your job. So I think that's really cool, because I think that there's a lot of people who come to the business thinking, oh, I'm going to quit my job, because you hear a lot of quick success stories in the business. But to know that, you did work full time and did this full time for 3 years before doing it 100%.
Yeah, it took us a year to go diamond, 2 years to go double, 3 years to go triple, 4 years to go presidential, and 5 years to go ambassador, and then 8 years to go black diamond. So we were making 5 figures a month when we quit at triple diamond, but we were still scared. You're still like, I don't know. And we decided that the worst thing that could happen is that we have to go back to work, like, at the end of the day. And now we're like, that is the worst thing that could happen. And
it's hard to imagine going back after you've been out for so long.
It is, I know.
So I think that's a perfect segue, because I wanted to ask those of you who have not heard of Denise's book. I know you have a new one. I don't have that one yet. But this is one of her Dream Life 30-day journal, guys. And it is, and Jody has hers too. This has just been a game changer for me. And I just want to know, like, Denise, where was your inspiration for this? Like, where did this come from? And I think kind of your passion, what you were talking about, is like helping other people, might kind of play into where this came from.
Yes. Yeah. So when you hit a goal, right? Or any, I don't know, when we hit black diamond, and before that, even, hitting ambassador and things, people would always ask us, what do you do? What do you do? If I were a fly on your wall, what do you do? And I was like, I don't know. I just work hard. We found a system. We were generating leads, following up with them consistently, and it worked. And so we did it a lot. But I really had to reverse engineer it, because that's not an answer most people like. We'll just work hard. They're like, I am. And so I really wanted to reverse engineer it and say, okay, what really helped me become the black diamond? Because it's really less of what you do and more of who you be. And so I'm going to quickly take you through the 3 years of us really hitting this goal of black diamond, because we tried for 3 years before we actually hit it. And the inside journey that I had to take is reflected in this journal. So in 2013, they announced Black Diamond. Black Diamond is when you earn $100,000 in commission per month for 6 consecutive months. And we thought we had it in the bag. It's a funny thing to say, but we did. We thought we were like, oh yeah, totally happening. And I took it for granted a little bit, and I just thought that it would be easy. So we had 4 months under our belt, and the month 5 came, and I started having all these fear thoughts. I started thinking 98, 98, 98, 98, 98, 98, 98, 98, 98. And I remember I didn't take my thought captive. I didn't, I hadn't learned all of these skills yet. And I allowed it to consume me. And guess what? Month 5, I got a call from Pam Souter, and she said, Denise, you didn't make it. With fast starts, it was about 98. And who cries over a $98,000 check? Obviously at this point, you guys, it's not about the income, because we were obviously very chipper about our income. It was about the goal. It's never been about the money for me. It's really been about the goal and about the impact. And so the second year came in 2014. I was like, screw it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So how many of you have had a goal set in your mind, but you really didn't believe it? So you're like, I'm going Ruby. And in your heart, you said, yeah, right. That was me. 2014. We're going Black Diamond. I'm saying all the things. I'm doing all the things. But in my heart, I thought, yeah, right. And guess what? When month 4 or 5 came and we hit below 100, I was like, see, told ya. So then 2015 came, and I knew that if I wanted something different, I had to do something different. And so a couple things happened this year. First of all, we planned a Come As You Will Be party in August of that year when we pretend like it's the year, like we pretended it was the year 2025. And we came dressed as the person that we wanted to be in 2025. Now, because I was making my team do this, and some of them were very mad at me, they were like, Denise, I don't even know what I want in next week. How am I going to want to know what I want in 10 years? We had to do a lot of Zooms just like this to prep them for the event. So the exercises I'm going to share with you, do them yourself, because this is what really helped me to create and craft my vision. And I know we're going to talk more about that in a minute, but it was like things like 30 things I want to be, 30 things I want to do, 30 things I want to have. Write them down. Get your juices flowing, right? You know, the whole what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Really getting clear and decisive about what your perfect dream day would be. Your dream life. Like, what does that look like? You know, what is your ideal day? Your dream day. When you wake up in the morning through night, what does that look like for you? And again, this takes off all possibilities and just says, I'm not asking you how it's going to happen. That's not the question. The question I'm asking you is, what do you really want? And so we all came. I mean, it's crazy, seriously crazy amazing to hear what has unfolded for everybody who was at that party. I was not Black Diamond then. And I came with a business card that said, it works, triple Black Diamond. I wore a dress and I got my hair and makeup done. And I said, I just came back from a TED Talk that went viral. You know, like crazy fun stuff. We went, you know, there's people that had babies on their hips because they wanted to adopt. Nikki Moore has adopted 2 since that party. My friend Elizabeth fostered and adopted 2 since that party. Like, so many crazy cool stories have happened because we decided, you know, because most people don't know what they want next week. How are you going anywhere? For us, during that season, we decided. So this is what happened that year. We really got clear about what we wanted, and we connected it to our emotions. So I got clear and excited. That's an important thing. Clear and excited. So what happened this year was we had 4 months under our belt, okay? Month 5 happened, and I started to still have that same fear-based thought. Now remember, I was clear and excited, but I still had fear. You understand that this is very normal. You can like believe it, but that doesn't mean the fear is going to go away. And you can have fear, and that doesn't mean anything at all. You know what I mean? Like, it's just part of life. So don't take it seriously. So I would have fear that said 78, 78, 78, 78, 78. And like, what if we don't make it? How embarrassing would that be? And this time I focused only on what I wanted. So I listened to The Strangest Secret every day for 30 days. You become what you think about. So think about what you want to become. So I would say 103, 103, 103, 103, 103. And when the fear came up, I'd go 103, 103, 103, 103. And we were at that party, which is why you know it's a God thing. We were at this party when Mark texted me and said, Denise, you got month 5. And when I went to check my commissions on the 7th or whenever it posted, it was like 1025. It was like so close. And so then I upped my goal to 113. 113, 113, 113, 113. That whole month, we did power hours every night with our team from 8 to 10 p.m. at night, Monday through Thursday. We worked. We were like, we don't need to train. We all know what to do. We just need to work together and create momentum. My team is just as excited about our goal as we were because so many people were promoting along those times. And even though there was still fear, the fear not ever did it go away. But this time I retrained my brain and I retrained my emotions to focus on what I wanted. So I was clear and excited. So when people ask me, what do I do? I was like, it's really not about what do I do because I did the same thing 3 years in a row. It was really more about who I be and this alignment, this connection, this clarity, and this emotion. And that is where the journal came into fruition. So I started reverse engineering myself. What do I do? And this was basically my morning routine for a decade. Was like, for example, morning prayer. Eyes wide open is what is working, right? Because we all can focus on who's not working, what stinks, what's annoying, what hurts, you know. Eyes wide open is a chance to say what is working in your life. A new gratitude game each and every day. And the gratitude game is important because it raises your emotional body and it allows you to really see the world through that lens. You know, they say you become what you think about. So the gratitude game helps you to see the world differently. There's a lot of science behind this. And then we have prayer requests, which is, again, we ask for victory. We don't complain about the problem. We ask for victory because you become what you think about. So I don't want you to think about the problem. I want you to think about the solution. So what do you want? Meditation is a place to listen. And then reflection is a place to journal. And then this too is, again, like what I did for 10 years was write down my specific goal. All of this is so intentional because this creates intention, okay? And then you have your affirmations and visualization about the goal. So you're not just saying, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds. You're picturing it. You're writing down, like, I am, you know, if you're 200 pounds, I am 150 pounds. I love eating vegetables. You know, I'm easily and effortlessly exercising every day. Like you're seeing yourself as if it's already done. And that's a part of the game, is to see yourself as if, because what happens is your body has to figure it out. Like when I said, don't worry about the how, because the how will come. One of my girls, we just did a charting Zoom right before this, and she goes, I got 2 customers on the last day of my 30 days, and I don't even know how. And I was like, you want to know how you got that? Because you decided you wanted it, you took action, and you believed it, and the how shows up every time. It's like without fail. It might not be perfectly exact, like exactly when you want it, but it always shows up. Okay, so this is part of the personal vision piece. And then this is where you say, what am I going to do today to take an action towards that goal? This is health, and then relationships, because I decided we wanted to be well-rounded. So the journal was really born out of people asking me, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And this is what I do. I stay focused, I stay intentional, and I connect every day, and that is really where the magic happens. So the first journal, the blue one back there, Dream Life Daily Journal, was the first one that came out in October, and people finished it in 30 days, and they were like, now what? And I said, we'll get another one, or how about we create another one? So then you have like something new to look at. And so Dream Life Every Day is geared towards gratitude in the here and now and loving where you are. Because one of my favorite things is I love where I am and I know where I'm going. That was not short, but that was the answer to the question.
No, I love it. I actually have another question. I think I heard it on another Zoom that you did. But so for the Dream Life Journal, I think that we all get caught up in wanting to hit multiple goals, right?
Yes.
So we have like our health goal, then we have our relationship goals, and we have our business goals. Like, do you recommend focusing on one particular goal at a time, or do you do all of it?
Okay, that is an amazing question, because I believe you can live a Dream 10 life in all areas at the same time. I do not think we have to choose. I think I will be able to earn $300,000 a month, working 6 hours a day, being a recess mom, taking my kids to school, and like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have to choose. We truly can have it all. I believe that. But you can't work on them all at the same time, because multitasking never works, ever. So focus. When you focus, you hone in on what's the most important. So your dream life goal is the one that's going to domino effect into other areas. So for our business, it could be a promotion, it could be an income, it could be paying off debt, it could be a vacation, whatever is going to excite you the most to take action on it every day. And the one thing, you can't create momentum in lots of areas. Like, I couldn't go Black Diamond and do a bodybuilding competition the same year. It's splitting yourself too thin. So you do want to choose one so you can really focus and hone in that one area.
I love it. I think we're in like a season in our business where the momentum is so high and everyone's like ready to rock and roll. And then we start thinking about all the other things we want to accomplish too. And then I think it's easy to get distracted and do multiple things at the same time. So I just think that's a good point. Okay. So on top of that, moving to the next thing, how can we get clear on our own personal vision? And what do you think is the first step for either somebody who's never done this before? They're like, I don't even know what I want. And then it's people who've been in for a while.
So I got to be interviewed this past week on a TV show. Now it was recorded. It wasn't live. So it's like one step, but not live TV quite yet. And they asked me these questions, and I had never formulated it in this way until then. And so there was 3 different parts. The first one is to take all 7 areas, and that's friendship. So if you're writing this down, friendship, family, finances, health, hobbies, business, and giving back. So those are the 7 areas of life. So this first step is just a brain dump. Like, what would a 10 life look like in those areas? Meaning, like, everything is amazing. Like, this is my dream day. Like, I am living my dream life in all these areas. Like, what would a 10 look like for you? So you want to write down all 7 areas and then really spend time brainstorming and allowing, again, those creative juices to flow. Not about the how, but like, what do you really want? What do you really want? Because I started doing this, you guys, 10, 12, 13, 15 years ago. And I look back now and I go, I'm living my dream day. Like, I would not have thought of it as I was going, but I think that as I was going, my how was showing up because I had already done this work. So a 10, just get creative. You want to live in a house with, you like woods or beach or what are things? Lakes, mountains. Yeah. you have a beautiful view. You take your kids to school. You don't have kids. Like, what is it for you? I like to work out in the morning. And when I had to be to work by 8:00, that was so hard. Now whatever. So like, what about for you? What is it for you? What is your dream day? When do you journal? When do you read? When do you work out? When do you have friend time? When do you have relationship time? Are you debt free? What does that look like? How much do you have in savings? Like, all of it, right? Get so clear and just really allow it to bubble up. And then you want to pick one. Now, again, this is when we said pick your one goal that will domino effect in the other areas. And some of you are thinking about that one goal right now. So I want you to write it down. Financial freedom, your diamond promotion, $10,000 bonus, Disney trip, whatever it is for you, write it down right now. And then the third step is to picture it like it's already done. So this is where visualization comes in your personal vision, like seeing it. So in the mornings, you guys, while I'm doing this, my journal, I'll seriously close my eyes and I picture my goals as if they're happening right now. The more detailed, the better you can get it. I'm speaking on stages in arenas. I'm what am I doing? I'm like, feel like it's so lofty right now as I say it out loud, but to me, it's so exciting. I'm being interviewed by Lewis House, who's a podcaster in LA. I'm doing dream space events everywhere. I'm triple like black diamond, meaning all 3 of our spots are earning $100,000 a month, which is why I have $300,000 a month on my, like, you know what I mean? Like, these are just my dreams. My whatever. So you picture it. You picture it. Whether you picture with your family, you picture that one goal as if it's done. Okay? So that picture right here in your mind, this is what it's doing is it's unlocking your reticular activating system. And your reticular activating system is your brain's filter that filters what's most important for you. So for example, there's like all of this input every single day, and your brain can only absorb so much. So it's only going to see the things it thinks it's important to you. And how does it deem what's important? By what you're thinking about. So if you're picturing your your goal as if it's done and you're picturing it and you're thinking about this, the how will have to show up because your eyes are going to start seeing things a bit differently. The other thing that happens is that your subconscious cannot differentiate between a real or an imagined event. I'm going to say that one more time. Your subconscious cannot differentiate between a real or an imagined event. So when you close your eyes and you're imagining as if it's already complete, and you are getting so excited about it, your subconscious has to figure out a way to make it happen. That's like gravity. Like it has to. That's your subconscious's job, is to like. So what do we normally do? We normally focus on worry. We visualize worrisome thoughts. We visualize fear. We think about what if X, what if Y, what if I'm so mad here. This is, like, and we stew and renew. And so there's a lot of healing that we need to do as well, so we can actually do this well. But what happens is often we're so stewing on the negative. And again, your subconscious does not differentiate between a real and imagined event. So I want to impact what my subconscious is seeing through this visualization. You guys, if you have never done this before, I challenge you to spend time in those 7 areas, because what I am telling you is something that does not cost you money and can change your entire life. But some of you are not going to do it. And that's okay. But some of you are. And you are going to come back in a year in March 2020, and you're going to say, my life is so different. So I challenge you, if you are on this call, that means you are active, you are working, you are excited about your business. Do these 3 strategies and own it, and you'll see radical change.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Guys, I think it's so easy. If something like a very easy example too is like when she's talking about like what you see, what you think about. Like think about when I got a new car, I got a blue Honda Civic like a few years ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that. Nobody has one. And then I started driving it around. All of a sudden I'm like, well, there's one, and there's one, and there's one, and you start seeing it all the time. And it's the same concept if you're thinking about all the positive things that can happen. And I think about the morning gratitude that you do in this journal. I think it starts your day off right, and all of a sudden you start seeing all of the gratitude throughout the day. You see all the blessings, you see all the things that are going right, and all the good stuff that's happening versus the worry and the fear and everything else. Because I think when we wake up, I remember when I first started, I used to wake up to an alarm clock, and I was late for work, and I was rushing around, and it just felt like it was a domino effect all day long of like all the negative things and terrible things would happen all day long. And now I'm like, I just feel like things they usually go in a more positive direction now. And it really does start with your mindset. And, like you said, you are what you think about. So
you like hear the birds chirping. You're like,
oh. Yes, literally all the time. Like, how did I not know that before? So it's just so true. And I've seen so much of what she's talking about happen in my life too. And it's just because she shares this stuff. So take what she's saying seriously and like take the time to put the work in, because you're the only person that can help you grow. So you have to take the time to pour into yourself to become a better version of yourself. And if you don't, you won't become that person that you need to be to get to the next level in any of these areas. So I just think it's so cool. Okay, sorry, I'm all distracted. I'm just excited. Okay, so how do you stay really motivated and keep your fire lit on a daily basis?
Good question. And a part of that does come down to your personal vision, because here's the deal. It's always easier to watch Netflix. And I do watch Netflix sometimes. Like, it's always easier to just, like, especially if you're working full-time. I remember when I was working full-time, I'd get home and be, like, so exhausted. I mean, think about in my line of work, I was like, you want to harm yourself, and you need some reps. Okay, how do I, wrap my head around this? And so I would get home from work after, like, heavy days of clients, and, I led anger management group and depression group and trauma group, and I did all this stuff. And then I had got to follow up with my wrap party. So what I had to do was I had to keep my goal so strong. Someone asked the 3 strategies. What would a dream 10 life look like in all 7 areas? pick the one that you want to work with the most that will domino effect, and then visualize that one goal as if it's completed. Those are the 3. And so for me, I've had to really keep that vision alive. That's it. Our only job is to keep the vision alive. The how will show up. The vision fueling our fire is what's going to get you up in the morning and doing one thing in order to get to your goal. Now, in the journal, someone else asked what, this one's Dream Life Every Day, and the other one's called Dream Life Daily Journal. I didn't know there was going to be 3 when I created it, but we decided we're going to do 3 and we're going to bundle them up so that way people can rotate through them. So the 3rd one's coming out later this summer. But that's why when there's action, it's like you do this action every day. So you have to, some days you're going to wonder if this one wrap party is taking you somewhere, or if this calling back these leads is going to take you somewhere. But what you'll find is that doing these small things every single day over time is taking you somewhere. And your job is to keep your fire lit and do something every day that's taking you in the direction of your desire. And so your fire lit is your why. Your fire lit is is that visualization that you have as if it's already done. Like you're either growing or you're dying. You're either like moving forward or you're slipping backwards. And so for me, I've just really had to put practices in my day that keep my own fire lit. The journal, personal development. I listen to Audible, YouTube, podcasts while I work out. While I'm driving, like I always have things in my ear that elevate my emotions and keep me excited about what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's so good, guys. And when I first started, I didn't really know what personal development meant. So I literally just typed in like motivational videos on YouTube and just started listening to those. And that just started to raise my vibrations of how I showed up and my energy that I brought. And especially when you do work full time and you have all these other commitments, like sometimes you just need to like just get out of that and listen to a motivational podcast, a video, something to get your mind in the right place. Something I was just thinking too, Denise, I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I remember when I first started doing all of the dream life stuff and I started thinking of all these like massive goals that I wanted to accomplish in like 5 to 10 years, or when we did Dream Space, I was thinking of all these 10-year goals and like where I wanted to be. But then I think we get back to day and it's almost hard to see the big stuff. Do you think it's a good idea to start like creating those small things along the way too, to also help us get to the big stuff so we can stay motivated day to day?
Yes, that's a really great point. So sometimes people will take their dream board and they'll be like, again, it's that like, yeah, right. Like that seems too big or too crazy. I don't get it. And so if you feel that way, then make it smaller. It's A-okay to say, all right, instead of saying, I mean, imagine a new distributor being like, I'm going ambassador.
Yeah.
There's like so many steps along the way. Like, let's start with calling your mom, you know, let's start with signing up your 4 customers and getting your free product and that kind of thing. So the difference, the way that I know if I need to make it smaller or not is if it scares me. Like we always say you want your goal so big it scares you, but like if it really scares you and you're not excited about it, then you're probably not going to do it. So you want a goal that you feel excited about, because that head-to-heart connection is important. And if you ever feel, yeah, right, change your goal. If you ever feel like not going to happen, change your goal. If you never feel like not good enough, you know, make it something that you really can emotionally connect with. And whether that's, there's also something called a process goal. So I have a book like that explains the why all this works. It's called Design Your Dream Life, and it's coming out in May. This is like the big one that I really wanted to come out first, and that's a whole nother Zoom. And what, oh, now I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? It was that, yes. Oh, a process goal. So you could even say your goal could be to get 2 customers, or your goal could be to connect with 10 people a day. So the process goal versus the results goal. The process goal is more like, I'm going to create the habit of 10 customers or 10 10 people a day. I'm going to message 10 to 20 people a day, you know, whatever it is for you. That's the process goal, because you can check it off if you did it. A results goal is more like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, you know what I mean? Or something like that. So I do think that, Kayla says 30 days, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Yeah, exactly. And you're going to be more connected to a 30-day goal, a 6-month goal. The vision of the 5 years pulls you through, but you want to be excited along the way.
Mm-hmm. I also think that, guys, when we think about the 10-year goal, I think that was something I hadn't spent time on, and I think it almost helped me to get more excited because I saw what could come down the pipeline too. So even though it might not happen today, it also keeps you excited for your future. And you can keep changing that and evolving it as you continue to grow too. But it's so important to have that thing, that big thing that you're working towards too, because it's so exciting to work towards that. So, okay. So, well, I think you kind of touched on this, but how do you work your business even when you're super crazy busy? You're a mom, you're a coach, you're a wife, you're traveling, you're writing books, you're doing all these things for us. You know, how do you still manage to work your business?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that I have learned is time batching. Time batching helps me with everything. Everything that I want to do gets a place on the calendar. For example, Design Your Dream Life. I started writing it. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. In 2017, this is why I can't believe it. So 2017, I started writing it, and I remember thinking, when I have time, I'll write it. It didn't happen. So I had to put it in my calendar. I realized that if it's important to me, it needs to get a space on my calendar. So everything I do has a space on the calendar. Exercise has a space on my calendar. I pick my boys up from school from 3 to 4 every day. Date nights have a space on my calendar, following up with leads, team Zooms, you know, all this stuff has a spot on my calendar. And when I'm doing these things, I'm here doing these things. I'm not thinking about anything else, you know, and I think that helps you to be. The worst thing is when you're with your kids and you're like, I should be working. And when you're working and you're like, I should be with my kids. Like, no. You want to be wherever you are. So time batching and really giving things a time slot has helped me to be present because I know everything else is getting taken care of.
I love it. And do you find that it's easy to do it like week by week? So like you kind of plan out the week and just kind of go week by week and get it organized that way?
Yeah, I think I have similar routines, but absolutely. Sunday nights, this is one reason why typically at 9 p.m. We have a power hour where we kind of organize our week and follow up and, you know, do host to posts and things. And that helps me to know what I'm doing. So I don't wake up wondering what am I going to do today. I wake up with clear intention and vision of what I'm doing because it's, number one, it's similar most days. But number two, I've thought about it already.
Yep. That's awesome. Okay. And if you guys have questions for her as we go, you can put them in the chat and I can always ask as well. Okay. So now that we are running during this big momentum season in our business, what do you think are some key things that people should be doing? One, in your business to take action, and then two, with your mindset. I know they're both important.
Absolutely. So we're in momentum right now. So you don't ever want to think, man, I wish I would have. You know, this is when volumes are doubling. People are hitting promotions and they're getting bonuses that are paying off debt and changing family legacy. So here's what you want to do. You want to decide what your goal is, and then what is your how much time you can commit to that each day. So if it's a half an hour, fine, commit it. If it's 3 hours, awesome. You know, whatever, commit it. Whatever you can do, commit to it, put it in your calendar, and then you are intentionally using that time to do two things: generate interest and close sales. Generate interest and close sales. So you're always generating leads, and you're always closing leads. So if you tell me that you don't have anybody to close or you don't have people signing up as customers and distributors, that tells me that you're not generating enough leads. You want to always have people coming into your pipeline that are interested in what we have. So then because it's a process, right? They have to hear it. They have to see it a few times. So you always have people coming in, you're massaging them, you're building rapport, you're following up, and then you always have people closing. So you want to keep your pipeline full. So whatever, you can do this business 1 hour a day, you can do this business 3 hours a day. It's up to you and your schedule. But the important thing is when you are working, to work with intention on the things that are going to make you money. Generate leads, follow up with leads, close the deal, because you make money when you sign up customers and distributors.
100%.
And then mindset. Mindset is just know that funks are going to happen. Know that you're going to have a bad day. Know that fear may creep up, and don't take any of it like seriously. You know what I mean? Just know that it's a part of the game, and fear never wins. So stay focused. What I had to do when I felt that in my own business was to retrain my brain and say, what do I want? I want to hit ambassador. What do I want? I want to hit diamond. What do I want? Like I start asking, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want to feel right now? What do I want? And I work to think things that make me feel that way. So again, just know that that's part of the game. It doesn't mean anything, and really stay clear and focused and excited on where you're going.
So I have a question. I feel like somebody might be thinking this. So, we're talking about what do we want? But realistically, life's going to hit us sometimes, and there's going to be days where we just don't feel like it. And what do you say on like those days when you just don't feel like it? How do you get back up and do it anyway?
Isn't that funny when you're like, what do I want? I want ice cream and,
Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brownies.
Yes.
Yeah. So here, I did a podcast on this because that was a question I had too. It's called, like following your joy in the daily grind. Because I often like to say I work this business based on what I want, not based on how I feel. So what you want doesn't necessarily mean how do I feel right now. I could feel tired, but I want to hit this bonus. So to me, following your joy in the daily grind is less about how how you feel necessarily in that given moment. It's really about how your goal makes you feel. It's like, how bad do you really want ambassador? How bad do you really want diamond? How bad do you really want to hit that ruby bonus? Because that's the joy. You know what I mean? That's the excitement. That's what you really want. And you don't have to every day allow those feelings to dictate where you're going.
Absolutely. I feel like I could ask you 10 more questions on that, because I think of the people who are still working full-time, which I know for my team, a lot of them still are. And I know when you come home from that mentally draining job, and then how do you transition from that period to, okay, I need to commit an hour to my business. Like, do you have any tips to kind of, okay, do it anyways?
I do.
Or get ready for it.
I totally do. Okay. This is a really good question because I agree. I think even moms. I know a lot of stay-at-home moms who are by bedtime, they're like, just give me wine. And, and so we're tired. So what I've learned, is that this business gives me energy. So it's less about, do I have time to work the business? And it's really like, do I have energy to work the business? That's really the objection. Do I have energy to work this business? And what I know and what I've learned over time doing it for this long is that this business gives me energy. So I know that if I just get started with 3 or 5 messages, or if I just get on a Zoom, or I just listen to something while I'm working, that energy will rise because I'm excited about where I'm going. And I think that I used to make it a goal to call 5 pieces before Facebook, my friends. We went to triple, like belly to belly with no Blitz cards or anything, no Facebook. And I would make it a goal to call on the phone and talk to like 5 people during lunch, and then 5 people on my way home from work, because I knew if I called people on my way home from work, I'd be more apt to keep the process going when I got home.
I have a question. So I have quite a few potentials who want to sign either as a loyal or distributor, but every time we go to sign, they like get scared and back out. Like, how can I already came up with an idea on how to help me be more knowledgeable with the products, but how do I make somebody feel more comfortable with jumping into this business?
Good question. So one thing that I like to use, it's called feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, and this is what I found. Remember, we're not like, you're not giving us your firstborn child. Like, this is really not that big of a commitment. And so the biggest thing is to take away some of that risk. Like, at the end of the day, you can use products yourself. Like, at the end of the day, if this doesn't work for you, you're not like, screwed for life. So take away some of the risk by saying the worst thing that could happen is you've got products to use, Right. But I often say feel, felt, found. I understand how I feel. I felt the same way. And what I found is that you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself, and we'll help you every single step of the way. We will teach you exactly what to do so you are successful. That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid they're going to fail. They're afraid it's not going to work for them. And we know that we can teach them the skills that will help grow their influence and grow their network and get customers themselves, XYZ. So it's really about building confidence that you can help them and that will teach them, because they're always borrowing our confidence before they have it themselves.
Love that.
Awesome.
That's awesome. All right, Denise. So I have one more question for you, so we can not go over on our time. How do you create duplication within your business? I know this is something that I'm always looking to grow more in, so just excited to hear what you have to say about it.
Yes. Okay. So duplication means we're really growing leaders. Now, this is a whole nother leadership development call that we can talk to about how to grow, like pour into people so they grow into leaders and taking responsibility for their own team. But in terms of easy duplication, I want to teach you what I just learned. I'm so excited because I just was in Nashville and I spent some time with Susan Wade, who did a thing at the One Team, One Mission. And I was like, duh, we all need to be doing this. So basically, guys, duplication is doing something so simply that people can duplicate it without much effort. That's the goal. Yes, we want to grow leaders. Yes, we want to teach people how to, all the things. But we really want to do things so simply that they don't have to ask us a million questions to go get it done. So what she suggested is our only focus is, and when we sign a new distributor, is to help them get 4 customers, teach them how to get 4 customers, whether it's calling their family, doing a host to post, doing a party, their 4 customers, and 150 in volume. So they can earn their free product. That's it. That's their focus. 4 customers and 150 in volume. 4 customers, 150 in volume. 4 customers, 150 in volume. They do not get their free product if they don't have 4 customers and 150 in volume. And then when they get a new distributor, the idea is that they train the new distributor 4 customers, 150 in volume, 4 customers, 150 in volume. So duplication comes when we do something so simply that someone who just signed up can sign up a distributor and do the same thing. And that's simple. The whole comp plan, everything boils down to people getting 4 customers and 150 in volume in their first 30 days. Then you don't have to think. You know your goal. Every new distributor gets 4 customers and 150 in volume, and that can duplicate down the tree, and that is going to make people money.
Absolutely. And for anyone who isn't, if you're new, that also helps to lock in your fast start bonus too. So yes. That's an additional reason why.
So it's like everything boils down to this free product credit. And if we can really focus on the free product credit, 4 customers and 150 in volume, that unlocks so much for everybody.
That's awesome. That's an awesome tip, guys. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share on duplication, or anything else that you...
Yes.
That's a huge tip.
I know. Well, and I can tell you why it was like a aha moment for me, because just getting people focused on the 150 in volume ensures that everything's going to get paid out, and that people aren't getting 4 customers, but then not on auto ship and not at 150, and then they don't get their free product. Like, you just want it to be so simple so that everything is without question. and there's no
Yep.
wishy-washiness. A confused mind says no. So if there's some sort of confusion in it, they're not going to be able to run. So we want it to be so clear that we're all able to run and we know where we're headed. But with that being said, I just printed off some charts. I wonder if I have them. That would be really convenient. But no, I took them all downstairs. We had a watch party today. Did you guys watch that? It's so fun.
Yes.
And so we were charting, and the thing that, and again, this is probably a question like I'm going to give you a charting strategy that we talked about in Nashville that I have not quite used 100% myself, but the people that are using it are seeing results. I will still always refer you to your upline who knows your chart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with this new comp plan, we have 3 legs, right? 3 different teams in order to get to the top of the company. The strategy is to not waste any volume. Any volume. Do not waste any volume. So instead of keeping people on your top line until you find a rock star and working with them, the strategy is to put people down until you find someone to work with. Because while they're at least getting their customers, while they're, they might not be rock stars just yet, the goal is that you will be promoting while you're looking for those teammates, like while you're working for those real runners. And the people that are really doing this, like we are charting a girl to diamond right now, and it's kind of, just stacking, but it's really doing it in a way where you're just really only honing in on 3 legs. And you're putting people down, and while you're waiting for the rock star, you still promote because all of the volumes add up.
It's golden.
So
Golden.
I don't know what you guys do in your team. We do, we focus on promotions, but this really again made it that much more simple. So then we don't have to think; we can just run.
Absolutely, I love it.
It's Henry.
Yeah.
Hey, Denise, so I wasn't able to come to your little meeting that you had, and I wasn't able to come to Cincinnati today. And normally I don't come on Sunday calls because it's me and my wife time, and I go to church and all this other stuff. But when you get excited about something in your life, this is when you stay in this. And when they say they got somebody that is in your top stuff, you have to make time for that. And I want to say thank you because there's a lot of stuff. Look, I took notes. I'm over reading. If you didn't see me, I'm over exercising. I wrote goals down for I'm losing 10 pounds. I thought I was losing it tonight. I don't know what was going on. But
Thank you for being on, Henry. I love it.
It is amazing to be on this call tonight. Just let you know.
Yay,
so thank you
for being here. It's good to see you.
Thank you for sharing, Henry. Does anyone have any questions before we jump off? Jody, did you have any questions too, Miss Jody Busher? Oh.
Hey, Denise. I just wanted to thank you again for jumping on with us. My Dream Space Journal, it just fills me every day to be in it, and it just makes me so happy. I had a lot of people reaching out to me and just asking me, what do you do when your vision is so clear on where you're going and you're so focused, but the spouse or the family members might not be as on board as, they just don't have the vision that you have. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of our newbies are expressing that. So what would your response be?
Yes. I've experienced that myself, and it's there's some navigating to it. I don't want to pretend like it's super easy because it's a relationship is important. And so again, what I've had to do is really kind of give everything a time slot, meaning my relationship also got a time slot. So I feel like sometimes when there's grouchiness about that, it can be like they feel like that their time is being taken away, or it's they have to do more at home, or there's other things that are going on that impact them negatively. So making sure that there's still time, or at least a half an hour or 15 minutes, or, good connection time in the calendar. I heard Mark say that with his fast start bonuses, he would bring Cindy flowers, doing, steak dinners or something, so that it would paid with your fast start bonuses. So they see some benefit, because I think sometimes the grouchiness comes from feeling like it's taking away from them rather than adding to their life. But once they start seeing the paychecks and they start seeing like, okay, we can have a cleaning lady now or whatever, then this can start adding to our life. The second thing I would say is that I heard this from a double diamond on my team whose husband was doing a 3-way call with another husband. And the husband said to the other husband, the company is not in question. It's been around for 18 some years. Debt-free, stable company, products that work. We know there's money in the comp plan. Like the company is not in question. The question is do you believe in your wife? And so that may be the question to ask your spouse. Like, do you believe in me? Can you give me a good year to do this business wholeheartedly? Of course, I want to spend time with you. Of course, I'm not whatever. And just give me a chance, because I really want to make this work.
I love that. Love that. Very good.
I feel like to elaborate on that too, when you, anything else? That was good.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
That was great. I loved it so much. I feel like so many people can relate to that, because there's so many people who feel that. So that's great.
Well, and I know for even dream life stuff, I can tell you, I didn't have the skills to start a podcast. I don't know how to do that. And I waited for years to do it, because I was waiting for Brandon to give me the technical, to say, here you go. This is how you do it. And finally I realized it was my dream, not his. And I couldn't wait on him. And there's just even things with some of this, I've had to go find other people to help me, because I couldn't wait on him. It's not his dream. And I had to let go of that. And so there's some times where it's like, this is my dream. I have to take 100% responsibility for it and do something every day. And that does not mean I love you less.
I was going to say the last thing, just to finish off, guys, remembering what she said tonight about, it took her basically a year, each year to hit a promotion. She just said, give it a year. So if you are new to this business, it doesn't have to happen overnight. You get to grow and you get to evolve and you keep growing through that. If you could stay in this business for 5 years and then make $32,000 a month, would that be worth it? Heck yes, it would be worth it. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. I think it's so easy to get our eyes, focused on some other people, but we don't focus on our own lane and what we're doing. And when you can stay focused on what you're doing and what your vision is, don't compare your timeline to anybody else. So just listen to what Denise said, give it a year, give it 5 years, get that vision clear, and just keep running towards it. Because, look at Denise. She's a prime example.
Amen. I want to end with an I declare. An I declare by Joel Osteen is one of my favorite things to, I always have one by my desk and calls with, and it's just little affirmations. And I feel like one of these retrained my brain. I said them so much that they became a default for me. So wherever you're headed, this is my declaration for you. I declare that I will ask God for big things in my life. I will pray bold prayers and expect big and believe big. I will ask God to bring to pass those hidden dreams that are deep in my heart. If certain promises don't look like they will happen, I will not be intimidated and give up. I will pray with boldness, expecting God to show himself strong, knowing that nothing is too difficult for him. This is my declaration, and this is my declaration to you.
I love it. It was so good. I see people clapping. Thank you so much. That was so perfect, Denise.
Well, thank you for having me. Awesome questions, and you guys, and let's do this thing. It's go time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Denise.
Bye.
Bye, guys.